Here are some basic things you need to know when starting Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. When you first spawn into the game, you are going to see a spell vendor in front of you. You could look at the spells if you like, but you don't need to buy anything from them. Press I, and in your bag, you'll find your beginner starting spells right there. You're going to right click on them to put them into your book, and then you can press L to open your codex or use the top left controls. And you're going to right click them again to put them on your spell bar. Also in your bag, you're going to find a mysterious letter, which is your first quest from somebody called the Scavenger. You can't really pick up the other crafting quests until you speak to the Scavenger first, so it's a good idea to go find him right away. To sprint, you use your left shift key while you're running, and you can run as long as you have some stamina on this little bar here. You'll find the Scavenger in this central part of town that is commonly referred to as the Well. You're going to want to complete your first quest with him, which is going to open up a whole bunch of others. These first few are your foraging tools. Please note that when the quest says complete, you still have to click it again to complete it. These tools are going to go into your bag, and you can right click on them to send them into your crafting slots. If you click on this little secondary tab right here, they go here. And there's also a schematic bag where your crafting schematics will go. That is a separate bag from your regular bag. You can right click on your schematics and it'll go to that bag. When you pick up the quests from Scavenger, be sure you read them, take notes. Even then, you might still not have much of a clue. There is not a lot of hand-holding in this game. There is J. You can press J for your quest journal. Also, sometimes he gives schematics. You can look at the schematic. It might have clues on it as to what you need. There are these quests called Heavy Lift. You could pick up the first one. It's close, but it puts a heavy item in your bag and you have to deliver it right away. You don't want to pick up the other two heavy lift quests until you are ready to go further with a much heavier load. For this one, spoiler, the first heavy lift quest goes to somebody who's, I don't know, maybe behind one of these trees up ahead here. You'll find them. After you speak to the Scavenger for the first time, you should pick up your crafting quests. Even if you don't plan on doing crafting, it's worthwhile because they give you free schematics and some very basic processing skills. You want to visit the armor, alchemist, tailor, and leatherworking. You will see the clothier. Right now, you can only get 3 levels of crafting skill per your character level, so you're going to need some levels to make some of the higher items like this bag. For jewel crafting, you're going to want to speak to the artificer. And for woodworking, you speak to the carpenter. And it's good to note here that they have a recipe for an 8-slot bank box that you can make at level 1. You're definitely going to want to make yourself a whole bunch of those at some point. For cooking, these are must-have skills. You don't have to do the quest, but you want to learn the skills. This table is where you make your drinks. And of course, the oven is where you're going to be adding ingredients to make your foods. You'll hear people sharing recipes in OOC. Listen to them, you'll write them down. Behind Scavenger, there is a bank. You can drop your newbie food in here and drink because you don't really need them early on and you're going to want the extra bag space. In settings, by the way, you can change open all bags from O, the default, to a more traditional B if you like. There are vendors that you can sell to in town. To sell, you have to Alt right click on the item. Alt right click. Alt right click. Also in town, you're going to find a crafting area. In addition to in the buildings with the crafters, this is where you can get a lot of your crafting items all in one place. Also, note, inside this vat is where you tan the leathers. The scavengers' crafting quests have their own little crafting bench right here, just outside of the armor. The well is kind of where everybody hangs out. It's a good place to pick up buffs from random passerbys and generally a good meeting spot for a lot of groups. So suffice to say, the well is a very important area. To get there, if you are a summoner, wizard, or enchanter, you're going to be starting at this mage tower. You're going to cross over this little bridge right here, and you're going to go into that building, step on this little blue platform, and it will automatically teleport you to a completely different part of the map. From here, you want to go south. You're going to jump off this little cliff right here, carefully, and follow the road. And there's town. Rogues, clerics, pallies, warriors, monks, you all start in town or extremely close to it. Do a little exploring. You'll find it yourself. From Shaman, you start in your own little area. You're going to cross this bridge over here. And then let's take you really quickly. You're going to go east through the woods. Make a right at this little road, and you're in town. Dire Lords, you start very far away from town. I'm going to give you kind of an overview from above. You're going to come down this hill, up over this hill, and around this bend over here, and there's town. Sorry, that doesn't help a lot. Just above the bridge, you can pick up some additional quests from this person, the Huntress. On the bridge, this night guard often has quests. If you continue up that road, at the crossroads, this vendor has quests. And in the mage area, in the tower, there is quests from the sorceress. Here's some other good stuff to know. It's worth it to kill forest foragers. They can drop 4 slap bags and some newbie armor. Oh, a bag and boots. Nice. In your first few levels, due to limited bag space, try to stick to like 1 or 2 mob types, as their dropped items will stack for you. I like doing like steaks and rats. Steaks are very useful both for their meat and their skins, which are tattered snake skin, which actually is the same thing as tattered leather. It processes the same, so you can use both. Plus their meat, along with apples and trout, makes some really good crit food. Some mobs have social aggro. You're going to learn them as you go along because you'll... But what's more EverQuest than being overwhelmed by a whole bunch of mobs and winning anyhow? By the way, monks don't get feigned death till 18. The importance of your torch. Without your torch, you can't see at all. With your torch, you can see. You can see how I can see the maple tree here. And if I take the torch off, I can't even see that. Everybody's going to want to have a torch. You'll find there's still a lot of bugs in game. There's still a lot of empty houses. And, you know, the game is what it is. It's still in its early state. Oh, by the way, if you happen to get aggro, that is something that wants to kill you, you can try and run it off. It's not going to, there's no zones. It's not going to follow you forever, but it will follow you a very, very long way. Sometimes the guards will kill things for you, not always. You could keep trying to run, maybe find another player who can help you. In this case, I'm actually still alive here. Maybe this, oh, here we go. This guy, all he has to do is give me a little heal or click on my feet for some first aid, and he can bring me back to life because I am not fully dead yet. And he didn't help me at all. You are dead to me now, dude. Thanks. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen is a fabulous game, though, and it is definitely a grouping game. There is no soloing here after your first few levels. To fully enjoy the game, you've really got to put some effort in. You have to talk to other players, get to know people in your level range, reach out to them, put groups together. And due to the complexity of some of the higher level groups and the coordination that's involved in killing some of these bigger mobs, you almost absolutely have to have Discord. It's a must. But this is where you're going to be making your friends, and this is where your friendships are going to come from and grow. And I think you're going to love the game as much as we have been. Reach out to me. I'm Sand Angel in game if you have any further questions, and thanks for watching. Ding 33!